Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the latest released web series called Squid Game. Today we'll discuss its Season 2 and episodes. So without wasting time, let's directly dive into the main storyline, which starts with the same 5 games being played, which were childhood games, but losing them meant direct punishment of death. In the beginning, a girl named Taki tries to turn around, but the transgender person tells her to hit it from the opposite side, and by doing so, they complete the first stage of their game. The second game was the flying stone one. Or you could say it was like Satolia, where a mother tells her son to hit the stone in such a way as if he's hitting the debtor who keeps taking money from him, always asking for more. Then he pulls back and hits the stone with great force, and they pass this stage too. The third was Kongi, which is basically a game where you pick up 5 stones. First, 1 stone at a time, then 2 together, then 3, then 4, and finally all 5 together. But Auntie was very irritated, and the priestess kept cursing them from behind. So here, the soldier makes her quiet and tells her to let Auntie play quietly. Then the son tells his mother to remember it like when Dad gave his second wife a place in the house, and she wanted to pull her hair out, so Auntie does the same. And here, they complete the Kongi game too, and now it's time to spin the top. Basically, you have to tie a string around the top to make it spin. But the priestess was very stressed and kind of panicked, and the string kept slipping from the top. She kept thinking to herself that the gods of both worlds have turned away from us. Now it's just time for death, and then the soldier comes and slaps her twice, saying, "If you don't spin the top, I'll kill you before these people do. Spin it now," and then she spins it with all her strength, and they complete the top game too. Moving forward from here, they had to play a game called Cheji Chegi, a Chinese game where you have to kick a kind of Coke 5 times. Wow, my Hindi is getting clearer. So coming back to the main story, she says, "People look at the backside," and she tells their 4 players to turn away and then finally wins this game by kicking with her leg. And now, seeing her, the rest of the people were also pumped up, so everyone was now fully prepared for one-on-one matches as they keep moving forward. However, those who managed to play these 5 games save their lives. But those who can't play them on time or exceed the time limit are fired by the soldiers, meaning they are fired from life itself. These were children's games, but the players were adults. Sometimes they had marbles in their hands and sometimes around their necks because the threat to their lives was constant. And as they kept doing this, almost everyone completed the game, and in the end, only 2 teams were left. One was their own team, and the other was a random team. When it rains on their team, Jung says, "What happened? Now there's no point. There's no audience left to clap for us." But he says, "Even if you win the game, it's Mare's turn next." First, the pregnant girl completes it in one go. Then it's Chumbi's turn, who wins the game by hitting the flying stone in just 1 shot. The third turn was Kongi's, where Taeho moves forward, and because he grew up with 4 sisters, he only played Kongi at home. So he wins this Kongi game in the blink of an eye. Now it's time to spin the top, but here Han messes up by throwing the top twice as if he doesn't know the game. But everyone reassures him one by one, calming his panic mode, telling him he can play this game. And Han wins the top game in the last 10 seconds. Now, in the remaining 10 seconds, they had to complete 5 kicks of the Cheji game in 5 seconds and cross the winning line, so in these 10 seconds, the atmosphere was very heated. Singh had picked up the Cheji and had already kicked it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, but the last one was about to be wasted. He was about to fall to the ground when we stepped forward and helped the team win the game, and finally, they also managed to win the game and return to the team. However, some big shots like Thanos and others who were sitting on the ground or near the bed after winning the game wondered why these people managed to escape. Because the more people survive, the less prize money they'll get. The more that die, the prize money increases. However, all the bad people here were only thinking about money, but there were some good people too, Like that auntie who was with the pregnant lady. She came and supported her. There were other families who didn't care about the money anymore and just wanted to save their lives and get out of there. So in a way, they teamed up. At the end of the second game, when all the soldiers were returning to their rooms, before the door of room 11 closed, 2 different soldiers entered and threatened him, even threatening to kill him, asking why he was messing with the trap when he knew the person was half dead. Later, we could have used his brain, his heart, his eyes, his kidneys, and other organs. Since he was only shot in the leg, why did you waste him by shooting him in the head and heart? To which number 11 replied that he would report them to the head. The 2 soldiers said they weren't sent to take his report, but if he damaged anyone else's organs next time, he should remember that night would be his last, and they'd burn him. But after taking his report, there was some negotiation going on here. Anyway, a hint is enough for the wise. Coming back to the main story, on one side, the remaining people were celebrating their victory. During the voting, they were thinking about playing the next game and getting out of there when suddenly, all the soldiers arrived and said that the money of those who died in the last game would now be distributed among them. Those who had previously voted not to play the game wanted to shut down the games again. But some people who had pressed the button before wanted to continue playing the game. The reason being the debt hanging over their heads. It was so much that even if they took the remaining money, it would only cover the interest. Sometimes I feel ashamed of these Koreans and these Americans who live by borrowing money. We Indians are better off. We might work for 2 meals a day, lay bricks, or sweep somewhere, but at least we don't have debt over our heads. And I'm not just talking about poor Indian families. I'm also talking about middle-class and rich families. If someone like you or me is working a job in a middle-class family, they'll pay their EMIs from their salary without borrowing from anyone else. If any two, even if you ask for 2,500 rupees more or less, you might miss the payment next month. Not like these Koreans and Americans who have debt hanging over their heads for life, with people coming to their homes asking when they'll pay up. For this, I have a soft spot for India, and I'm proud to be an Indian. Now back to the main story, the voting gradually increases. Everyone votes according to their wishes. Those who wanted to earn more money voted up. But those who wanted to leave the game voted on X. However, the number of people wanting to continue playing was higher. That is why they are forced to play the next game too. After this, they are given food. But much less compared to the last day, where they were given a full meal. This time, they only get 1 bun and a small packet of milk. Now here, these 5 friends team had a person named Jung-jae who voted in favor of playing the game. So everyone was cursing him and saying that if you had voted against playing, at least the rest of us could have gotten out of here. Their lives could have been saved. Because outside they have a family, someone's mother, someone's sister, someone's brother, someone's father, someone's grandfather. They were waiting for them. To which Jung-jae says that although I was dying for money, I know I have a lot of debt on my head, but just by voting in favor of one, what would have happened? Because we're 130 and we're 109, a whole difference of 21 people. After understanding this, everyone calms down, doesn't eat properly. In between, we are shown the conversation between the transgender and the aunt, where the aunt asks son, while playing the game, "You were playing, so why did you tell us all to turn?" Where the transgender says, "Look, the thing is, my surgery hasn't happened yet. If it jumps, it will show." Now here, what is jumping and what is showing, the wise will understand the hint, and I am saying this because recently, some of my thumbnails had only 1 word written inside, which made the video limited. In YouTube's language, getting limited dollars means the video is messed up. Wow, here I am repeatedly giving hints about the hints for the wise. And I hope you good and decent people will understand these things. Now coming back to the main story again. There was a tense moment among all the people. In fact, Thanos, our rapper brother, had grabbed the mother and threatened her. "As long as you're here, you'll have to play all the games. You'll have to pay off my debt." To which Myung says, "If I win all the games, meaning if I'm the last one standing at number 456, then that means you'll be out. So if I put the money in the car, well, there's a pretty good fight between them. But at this time, he had come, and Thanos steps back in fear. Here, when people have already entered the hall, someone had to say that something might go wrong tonight because the last time, the same thing happened. Those who were given less food were already angry, meaning they were filled with rage. They weren't getting money, weren't getting food, and were stressed. People were also cursing. So fights could break out at night. So why don't we sneak down and sleep? So, agreeing with him, everyone starts coming down at 11. They think about keeping a 22-hour watch, but then at night, the old lady needs to use the toilet. She goes, and with her is the pregnant lady. What to call her? A child? So both of them go to the soldier and say, "Please open our door. We need to go to the restroom." But according to the Squid Game rules, no one was allowed to leave the hall at night, so they refuse. But the old lady insists and says, "Son, if it were your mother who needed to go, would you let her go in front of everyone?" So at least think about it. Behind the mask, you're a human too. This gets to the soldier, and he lets her go to the toilet. Meanwhile, Jung-jae and the others start their watch at Evan. However, they also talk about the factory where they used to work. During the strike, people sat down to demand higher salaries. That conversation isn't very important, so we won't add it. We'll focus on the main story. Basically, the pregnant girl starts crying, so TG comforts her in the bathroom. She calms her down and supports her, saying, "If you need anything or feel any pain, let me know. I've helped many girls deliver in my neighborhood. I'm here and will always support you." The next morning, Chun arrives with the team, again on the board, and this time they had not just one but 22 boards, which were enough to find that hidden island. After a full night of watch, it was the day of the next game, where on one side, all the soldiers were stationed, and on the other, all the contestants were brought in. For their third game, this game was called Mingle. Mingle was a game where horses were placed on a carousel. Well, I've only seen such games at fairs where kids ride horses and swing. Now, all these people were placed in the middle of the circle. The circle starts spinning, and with this intense suspense, this amazing episode ends here. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. How did you like it? Let me know in the comments because making videos like this takes a lot of effort. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe as we have all the episodes of Squid Game Season 1, all the Squid Game Challenge episodes, and Season 2 too. We're bringing all the episodes and we'll keep going with Season 3. For regular updates, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thanks a lot guys for watching. See you in the next video.